This program is financially supported by the fundings from the European Commission.
You are listening to the Ebu Access Cast, the first official podcast from European Blind Union about assistive technology for blind and partially sighted people. And here are the hosts.
Welcome to the new Ebu Access Cast. Happy New Year and happy holidays from all of us.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. We have our team assembled and with some new people joined. My name is Mario Percinic. And with me I have Jakob Rosin.
Hello.
And some new voices came along in our team. Finally some girl power in our team. Yeah. Tanya Clout is coming to us from the European Parliament.
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm very happy to participate at your podcast. So my name is Tanya Clout, as you said. I come from Croatia, but I live already for more than 4 years in Luxembourg. And my work is strictly related to accessibility, so I'm very happy that I can also contribute here at your podcast.
Oh, cool. So you're also professional on this, which is great.
Yes, I'm working on accessibility.
Great.
So, yeah, and I'm blind, so this is also maybe important to say.
Yeah, for our podcast it is. So, yeah. Yes, we have lots of news for you to cover this time, as well as some short announcements. And basically what we want to say is that we are accepting also the guests for our podcast. So if you think that you are able to contribute with any kind of topics or would like to talk to us in the podcast in the future episodes, you are free to contact us through our various contacting channels regarding the email which we have and the Twitter account. So anything you like, you can contact us, and then we will proceed further with additional things which we need to set up
from there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's up with you guys? Have you got any cool gadgets over the Christmas?
I had my Sunu watch or Sunu gadget that was presented at your podcast, and indeed I learned about that gadget through your podcast. So I'm very happy to have it and to use it. Now it's really cold, so I'm not walking too much, but I'm really looking forward to that moment when I will use it more outside. But for the moment, I'm using it mostly for checking the time. And it's really awesome. I think it's very, very good product.
I myself got a pair of Aftershok's headphones, and they are bone conduction headphones. So what it means, it's not like usual regular headphones. They don't go in or on your ear. They go in front of your ear, so you can still hear very well stuff which is going around you, but also hear what the headphones are broadcasting to you. And this is very helpful when walking outside. You can hear what's around you, but also can hear, for example, your phone, maybe GPS instructions, or a book or whatever you want to listen from there. They're not good for music because they don't deliver too much, so much bass or other frequencies. But for speech, they are perfect. I think I really, really love them.
Did you get the Trex Air or the Trex Titanium?
Yeah, this is the Trex Air. They're very light and very nice looking headphones too. You don't feel them when they're on your head.
Yeah. Because we are using the Trex Titanium, and personally, since I got them, I don't know how I could live without them before.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
No, it's really practical because when you are using in the same time GPS application on your phone, you don't have to hold your phone in front of you and listen to it, but it can be in your pocket and you can listen it directly on your headphones. So it's really practical for us. And as you said, it's in front of your ear, so the sound from the headphones is not blocking other sounds, so you can still listen the transport and be safe outside.
Indeed.
yeah. Have you played with these EQ settings, by the way, Jakob? You know that it's possible to change the EQ on the headset.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you press that's why you might be surprised with the additional bass which would come up.
Okay.
Because if you
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
If you press the two buttons on the right side, so the volume up and down buttons, in the same time, then it will say EQ changed, and then the additional bass boost will really start kicking in.
Okay.
So try to do that.
Let's finish this podcast really quickly. I wanted to go and try it already.
It really works.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go and give it a go and try it out.
Yeah. Because when you use them as a flat, then you have very good speech, but for music it's not so great. Once you enable this bass boost, it's really working good.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good tip. Thank you. Well, we got a tip now.
Sure.
Maybe some people who are listening us do not know that either.
Oh yeah. And I got myself a new phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
What phone did you get?
It's an Android phone from kind of unknown vendor. It's from one Chinese company. They're called Cubot. It's spelled as a Cubeot. And the model of the phone is called, believe it or not, King Kong 3. But why did they call the King Kong 3? Because there was a King Kong 1 originally when they launched. Why this phone is interesting? Well, it's for few things. First, the phone is built for kind of military use. It's very rugged phone.
Okay.
So basically, you can throw it around, and it's able to stand out very well the shock resistance. The case itself of the phone is built very durable. So from all sides of the phone, you have like protective things. So eventually, what you don't need is any kind of protective case for the phone, because it's really does what it says. And the manufacturers also say that it's possible to drop the phone for half an hour inside of the water and it will survive, which is also great. I mean, if you spill something, your drink or whatever, over the phone, it will definitely survive. So that's also good. Another cool thing is the fact that the phone comes with the total clean Android. So there is no additional anything.
That's useful.
There is none additional bloatware on the phone. It comes originally with the Android 8.1 Oreo, which is still very good, and we are waiting for the Android 9, which should be delivered soon. And the specs wise, it's really also very very good. It's got the octa-core CPU on 2.5 gigahertz with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. Plus, you can expand the storage with the SD card up to 256 gigs. So it's really good. It uses it's a hybrid dual SIM phone. So basically, if somebody wants to use 2 SIM cards, you can do that.
Yeah, if you want two numbers or something.
Yeah, but if you want to use dual SIM, then you cannot use the SD card. So that's the thing. Another thing is the fact that the phone has unbelievable 6,000 milliampere
Oh wow,
battery.
crazy.
I will tell you personally that the last time I charged my phone was on Wednesday afternoon, and up until today I still have like 35%. So
That's crazy.
it's really crazy.
And today is Sunday. I don't know.
Today's Sunday, so
Yeah, it's Sunday, yeah.
eventually like 4.5 days without charging. It's really awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, the only downside of everything what I said is that the phone is a bit heavy.
Yeah, it has
so-
to be with all this
Right.
protections and all that.
It's about 300 grams, so it is much heavier than the rest of the phones. But when you consider all the features it has,
Yeah,
I don't care.
of course.
It's really good. And though it's a mono, it has one speaker, but the sound is really not bad. So yeah, everything is nice and shiny. You have also bunch of various sensors, including the gyroscope and the compass sensor, and it's using also the built-in GPS GLONASS. Of course, by the chipset, it's already ready for the Galileo once it becomes.
Yeah, once it
goes live.
Yeah.
So, and I can tell you that I notice a huge difference, for example, in the GPS performance, because it has this additional GPS module. I noticed that when I'm using now the GPS apps, the amount of information which I'm receiving is much faster.
Okay.
And yeah, and I can say that the TalkBack, which is like the main Android screen reader, really flies on the phone. So it's really I'm really happy with it with the gadget.
That is
And
great.
The price wise, it's really good. I mean, people who wants to get it, they can get the phone for about 220 up to 230 euros. So it's really not bad for this kind of performances.
Of course not. That's actually quite interesting. Also, when you walk around a lot, it's good to have like a tough device with you.
Sure, yeah. Especially also when you're a musician and you're playing a bunch of gigs and stuff. It's yeah. You never know where your phone will end. Who will spill the beer? So yeah, this is good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and get King Kong 3.
I love the name.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's really nice, and actually, yeah, everything is accessible since the beginning. You can enable TalkBack on your own, and everything is working fine. So that's great. All right. So after a short gadget briefing at the beginning, let's jump into the news sections.
Sure, let's do that.
So apparently this year started with one of the biggest electronic conference in the world called CES. Tanya, I know you have something to say about it, and Jakob, you also have additional show which is running in Estonia about technology, so you two can tell us something. What's going on at the CES?
Okay, so the CES 2019 is the consumer electronic show that is held in Las Vegas for 3 days at the beginning of January each year. And it is one of the most influential technology events. And it's really interesting to see what they can expose from accessibility products. So it would be impossible to mention all of them because it's enormous apparently, and I think it would be really nice also to see the products there directly, but we are not so close. So one of the products is WeWalk. It is a device that you attach to your white stick, and it gives the vibration signals when you are encountering an obstacle through an ultrasonic sonar. And I think it would be really interesting to compare it with our Sunu.
The Sunu band,
yeah, of course.
Yes, because it can also be connected to the application on your smartphone, and then it gives you more details. So it can give you also the directions. It has also compass. So it has much more possibilities when it is connected to your application. So I think it would be really interesting to see, in a way, if it is more practical or what are the differences comparing to Sunu. Which one thing I can already think about is that when you have Sunu on your band, yes, so you cannot hold anything in your hand, because if you're holding, then it's not checking in front of you as it should. So maybe in these cases the other device would be more practical, but it would be interesting to see it and then to compare it. So this is one of the devices. I don't know if Jakob, you had same device to present.
No, I don't actually. What I wanted to talk about CES though is this year's great advance in voice-controlled devices. So lots of them are now. I even saw like a kitchen tab which you can get, and it works with your Alexa or Google. So you can tell your Google assistant, like, okay, Google, like, can you turn on the tap for and make it like, okay, maybe like a half a liter of warm water, and it knows, and it turns on the tap.
Oh, you mean yeah, it's the kettle for cooking, like the tea or coffee or stuff like that.
No. It's an actual kitchen tap where you get your, like a sink where you get your water.
Oh, okay.
From.
Oh,
and
wow.
They connected that to internet for some reason. And there's also a shower which can be controlled now via the voice assistants. But I think it's a good thing for lots of people, because there are, okay, some of the things might sound silly, but the more and more we get those voice control systems, it's beginning to, voice is very accessible for us. So I think it's a good thing that lots of things universally become accessible.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And we never know in which situation it can come really practical, in a sense that it is also for accessibility, not only different way of accessing something, a shower, for example, but it can be really, really, well, practical for different reasons. I think I read also that they presented like a smart toothbrush, meaning that it can tell you if you didn't clean well a part of your teeth. So it's incredible. Yeah, where it goes, the smart technology today.
That is brilliant indeed.
Oh yeah. They also presented the smart toilets, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, wow.
Though I don't see the use of that, but okay, maybe eventually I read that it's really expensive, that like this toilet is like $7,000. So
maybe at some point you cannot go to the toilet because the toilet is downloading a software update at the moment. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. The other gadget that I wanted to mention, well, it's not for me, but it's for somebody who can see still something, but needs to check the site. So it's a vision check. It's a gadget that can, you have it at home, and you can identify any deterioration of your vision. So you don't have to go to an optician, but you can check it at home. And in a sense, long term, it would be much more cheaper. More accurate for this, I don't know, because it needs to be tested, but maybe in long term also more accurate, and it works also together with the smartphone. So I think it's really interesting. Yeah,
it would be good if for example, if this the end results which you could get with this app could be directly connected with your medical
Doctor.
service, and then they could
Yes.
send the results directly to the doctor, and that would be
Yes.
great.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be great. I think for that we will need some time,
Yeah.
and especially in Europe, it takes time to
Yeah, because
take
it's
all these
it's
trends.
heavily related to privacy and all that as well. So
Yes.
got
Yeah.
to think it through.
All right. Anything else that popped up on
Yes.
the CES?
Yes. Absolutely. So Google presented a new feature on the Google Assistant, which is interpreter mode. And basically, you can speak in your language, and Google will translate in another language so that you select beforehand. So real time. And it will be available in 27 languages very soon in the coming weeks on all Google Home Hub devices, meaning also Google Home speakers and displays. So I think this is really fantastic because you can translate real time your conversation with another person.
So it's not.
Of course.
So
Sorry?
It's not available yet, right?
No, I tried it on my Google Home speaker and it didn't work. But
Yeah.
it was. They said that it will be available in coming weeks. So I'm looking really forward to when it will be
maybe
available.
when you listen to this podcast already, it's there.
Maybe, yeah. But
Maybe.
I check it like 30 minutes before starting to record this podcast. So it was still not available on my Google Home speaker, but maybe, I don't know, somebody else is already updated.
Or
and,
maybe if you listen to this podcast in like 5 years, you definitely do have it.
That's for sure. Yeah. Well, eventually, regarding the history of this feature, I know that this feature originally started from the Pixel earbuds.
Yes.
So eventually, when Pixel 2 was introduced, the Google came out with the additional Pixel earbuds, which at the beginning were only able to do these kind of things, but eventually Google realized that we have the technology, we need to expand it to a bunch of other products and users. So eventually, I think what will happen is that we have to watch for the updates for the Google Assistant and Google Home apps.
Yeah.
And eventually, when we get the new updates, these new features for the interpreter will come along at some certain points. So that's good. We have to wait and test when it. The good advice is that once you get the new updates, try to test the thing if it's there. So yeah, if it's there, then we have it.
Indeed.
But it's great. I mean, covering 27 languages, it's a lot.
Quite good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm really wondering. I can't wait. I can't wait to try and test it to see, how it will work in various languages, because
Yes.
I can see, for example, that the Google Translate is hugely improving in the like big languages. Like, for example, the translation from, I don't know, let's say German to French, or from French to English, and vice versa. It's becoming really better and better. It's right now. It's almost it's very difficult to distinguish if the human translated that or whether it's a machine translation. But for the other languages, for example, I can say that Google Translate also provides the service in Luxembourgish, but since Luxembourg is really small as a country, probably the amount of people who are working on it, it's much less. So it's not that accurate. But okay, I mean, time will tell. And
it's getting better every day, and the more and more people use it, it's improving.
Absolutely. So okay, so the next thing after the CES, what do we have?
In December, there was the European Accessibility City Award for 2019, and the awarded city is Breda. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's in Netherlands, so probably I'm not pronouncing it correctly. and it was awarded for the European Access City 2019. So parks, stores, transport, public transport are accessible to persons with disabilities. And I think it's nice and inspiring for other cities as well. Have you ever been, guys, to this city, or what is the state of accessibility in your cities?
Well, I was not there because I used to go to Netherlands for a few times, but I wasn't in Breda.
It
So
would be
I
interesting
can
if
say.
somebody is from
Somebody
there.
is, if somebody is listening to us from there, give us a shout and tell us if the information which we are broadcasting here is true
Correct.
or not.
Yeah. No, I have been either, but the accessibility state in our city isn't not too good. For example, you very rarely get traffic lights with sound, or you get the when they build new roads, they put the tactile payment there, but they don't sort of put it in a weird way, so you might miss it. And now it's winter, and we are having a very heavy snow, and they are not cleaning it quick enough, so you cannot just tell whether you are walking on a pavement or walking on a grass or something. So it's quite bad. So we are not probably getting this award so soon.
Yeah, I have to say that regarding the snow, I when it's becoming really snowy and the roads and everything is blocked.
Yeah.
Well, for a blind person, it's really difficult.
It's very difficult.
Walk around.
I agree.
Yeah.
It is. And what about the public transport?
Ours doesn't talk too much. It just tells you the stops where they're stopping at the moment, but there's no way of knowing what bus line or tram or whatever arrived to the station at the moment. So you have to ask people, and they don't expose it publicly on the internet as well accurately enough to make like an application. So yeah, it's a bit weird and difficult.
Yeah. But have you ever tried to use any GPS application to identify on which station you are, like Lazarillo?
Yes, I've used different GPS applications, so that helps me to know that station, but it doesn't help me with knowing what number line it arrived, so I know what line to take.
Yeah, that's a pity. Here in Luxembourg, I think, the state is not so representable still, but it's moving in the right direction, because we can hear more and more buses that are starting to announce the bus stations, which is good. Before it was only in the center on some lines. Now it's also coming outside from the center. And also the trains are mostly talking, which is good. And also on some new constructions, because we got in Luxembourg our first tramway in December 2017.
Okay.
And is expanding each month, so with a new tram station. And this is really an example of universal design, meaning that it is accessible for a person in wheelchairs, so you don't have any step to enter in the tram. There are tactile lines to indicate where the door will be when the tram stops, and it also announced the tram station on which the tramway stops. So it's really, really good, well done. But it is on new constructions, so other constructions, other bus stations or buses are still not speaking. So you need to ask which bus arrives, as you say, and you need to rely on other people. But I believe that it is going in the right direction, at least for the new constructions.
Oh yeah, the only kind of dangerous thing about this public transport is the fact that I used to have a chance of riding with the electric bus We have the electric buses going on a few lines, and man, I personally I'm really a huge fan of the electric vehicles, but on the other hand, they're so quiet that I mean, it's even when the bus is coming, you hear it's like half meter before it comes to you.
Yeah.
So if in any case it's driving fast, well, boy, it can be dangerous. Yeah, that really can be dangerous. So we need to see what will come up with the new directives and the stuff for the electric vehicles and the accessibility of those, because they really need to make some kind of noise, because otherwise, for us it's really difficult.
Indeed, I agree. That's the point. And when there is loud traffic, you cannot hear it arriving as well. It's
No way.
very hard.
No way.
Yeah, and when it's raining also, you hear less. Yeah, so it's different then also.
It's easier now to actually know what money you have in your hand, because there is a new application which is called a cash reader for Android and iOS, and it helps you to identify different currencies. They have the world's largest selection, at least they say, of different currencies, so you can identify it by just showing your phone the currency, and it either tells you, or if you're in loud situations, then it just vibrates at you the amount. I haven't tried it personally yet, but I think it's been good that another app is there out there to do that, because it's sometimes quite hard to identify money, and I have recently gone mostly cashless. I try to avoid using cash as much as possible, and it's quite good. But occasionally you still have to do that, and then I think that's going to be very helpful.
Yes, I tried it myself on my iPhone, and it's working really well. I tried it with Croatian kunas, because until now I didn't have any application to recognize kunas. So it was difficult for me, even more because as I'm not living in Croatia already for some time, I'm not so used to touch daily these notes. So after some time I forget. So it was working really well. It's recognized very quickly in 1 to 2 seconds the note, and it told me the correct note that I had in front.
The only difference, I mean, one of the very good advantages of this app is that once you install it, you don't need to be online to recognize the money, and that's one of the things why it's able to recognize the money so fast. So it's not going online to check which amount do you have, but it stores everything in the phone, and then you don't need internet connection, which is in some circumstances it can be really helpful. And the other thing regarding the Android version of the app, it's currently in development, so it's not out yet. But I already talked to the developer for Android, and we might see the first betas in about a month. So we have to wait for a few more weeks, but I'm sure that it will be as good as the version for the iOS. So that's really good. So the short topic for the next few minutes will be Braille, and Braille for us who are blind is something that's really crucial. Though in the last few years, we are seeing kind of statistics which are showing that less and less people are using Braille who are blind. But really, I have to say, if you really want to be a professional person and you want to work in the everyday environment, you need to know how to write and read. And Braille for us is the crucial point. So this year was a 200th anniversary of the Louis Braille birthday, and it's also World Braille Day. It was on the 4th of January this year. So basically what I can say is that okay, we've all went through the education, and through our education, probably most of us first used the Perkins Braille and
Yes.
slate and stylus and stuff like that. But you jump like 20, 30 years ahead, and you're exposed with a bunch of Braille technology, which on one side is really useful but very expensive. But what we can see, and this is I'm very glad to see these kind of things, is that we are finally starting to see the new Braille products, which are becoming available for, let's say, most of the people. Because, for example, now the Orbit Reader finally is on sale. You are able to order it, and it costs for about $400 or $500. The same thing was just announced a few days ago, and the new Braille device is called Canute.
Yes.
And basically, what is Canute? Canute is kind of Braille. I would say they call it like a Braille Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
Why they call it Braille Kindle? Well, because it's display. It's a device which is able to display the full page content at once.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like I think it's able to display like 9 lines of the text at once with 40 characters, which is really good. So instead of panning the display every 20 seconds, you can read something for a minute or 2 or 3, depending how fast you read, and then you pan the display again and you read the content. So and eventually the display itself is also able to connect with all the screen readers, but it can also be used as a note taker and the book reader, which are in the electronic Braille format. So you're able to pop the SD card inside and use the stuff and read the books this way. And I think this is really, really good because the price-wise, the device will be also around, I don't know, £400 or so. So it's really not that much. We are starting to see the price droppings in the Braille gadgets, and that's really good.
And do you know if the device will be able to present like mathematical equations, where the space is also important, and where on the regular Braille display that we still have with one single line, it is not possible to present it one under the other. So do you think it would be possible? Well, it should be, but
it should.
If they foresee that.
Yeah, in theory, it should be possible. I haven't seen the device yet. Maybe the Canute makers will come at this year's Side City. So if I will have a chance of going there, if they will be there, I might drop a few minutes there to check it out, because I'm really interested. I see multiple things where it might be used. Since it's able to display multiple things at once, it could be also used for some simpler pie charts and graphical explanations and all sorts of things. So I think that the technology is coming along. We just need to test it and see what's going on. I know that certain devices also in production from the Orbit research company that produced the Orbit Reader 20. They are also producing similar kind of display, which is able to display the graphics and the pictures. So basically, you would just like load the picture on the device, and it would be representing the picture in the Braille formation. But it would also be it's also able to detect like various kind of color changes and stuff like that, because Yeah, because for example, I don't know, if something is red, then this red part would be more raised, and if something would be, I don't know, let's say black, or something which is more darker, then the dots would be not so raised so much, but you would still be able to feel something. So, I mean, we are talking about a tech which is pretty much new, and it's still being in development, but it's really good that these kind of things are coming along. And the most important detail about it is that all of this stuff which we are talking right now will be not expensive. So we're not talking like 10,000s of euros, which is really good. So once these kind of things become available, we just need to see the expansion of these kind of devices to the educational institutions and stuff like that. But it's coming along, so that's good.
Oh, it sounds very interesting.
So, coming to the end of the podcast, but before we finish, we have two more short announcements from the accessibility industry. Tanya, you have something for us for the from the accessibility professionals, I guess.
So, in the month of December, there was the accessibility project called 24 Accessibility Gifts and Sharing, meaning that accessibility experts were sharing during 24 days of December different recommendations for accessibility. So some of the topics were ARIA 1.1, commenting some of the most useful ARIA attributes, or CAPTCHA, and other topics related to accessibility. So if anybody is interested more in those topics, you can access it through our show notes,
Yeah, so definitely check out the
Yeah.
show notes, where we will have the link for the 24 accessibility event, which was done through December. Basically, from what I understood, it was like sharing the tips, like the daily tips for improvements in the digital accessibility, and the tips were done by the different people who are coming from the industry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's really cool to share it, and we will share those. And the last announcement for today is also coming. I heard that some standards are being updated. Is it correct?
Yes. Yeah. So the European standards on procurement of accessible products and services was updated and harmonized with the Web Directive, and it is available on Eurlex page. So for all those who are working in public procurement or in policy, they can have more information on the Eurlex website. That will be also in our show notes.
All right.
Okay.
That's good. All right.
I guess
Our
that's
podcast.
it.
Our podcast came to the end.
Yes.
And guys, thank you very much for being here.
Sure. No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. We will come back next month for sure. And if you have any suggestions, recommendations, or if you didn't like something, whatever, you can drop us a note on our email and also on our Twitter. Everything will be in our show notes. So until next time, have a good one.
Yes.
And get some new gadgets.
Of course.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. This has been EBU Access Cast.